Hello guys, welcome to my channel again. So today I'm going to make an Android app in just few minutes. So this app is going to be a game and I'll show you how I'm going to make it, but for the explanation part, I think if you need that, please let me know in the comment section so that I can make another video so that I can explain you why I did it, and I can explain you if there are any other way to customize that or not. So without wasting any time, let's just start with it. So what we need, first of all, we need two things. We need libgdx and we need this images. So we need background and we need to download this library. So for background I'm choosing this. So my name, so it's okay, I can do it flying corona, package name flying corona, desktop, and give this name. Okay, so after that we need this. So we don't need desktop, iOS, HTML. Let's download our background, and side by side we can open any project to get SDK location. So after this is done, we have to go to tools, SDK manager, and then copy this, Control A, Control C. Okay, provide this here and generate. So it will generate on the desktop. So it's doing something here. So while it is doing that, let's open our background. We need this. Let's copy it here to the desktop. So that is done. Now we need a bird, because this is a bird game, right? Flying bird. So okay, now I suppose it is done. So as you can see, it is done. Build successful in 21 seconds. Let's close this one. So this is our folder which we want to import. So file, open, go to the location desktop, flying corona, click OK. So it's getting opened. Gradle is running. Side by side we can download a bird. So I'm going to choose this one, and for enemy we need a virus, right? Coronavirus. So while that's running, so it's done. So you can run the application to see what is the default view. And now we need virus. We can open this one, and we need this frame 1. I don't know. So this is your default view. So yeah, let's work on the background first and remove this horrific symbol. Okay, so we were downloading virus, so let's choose this one. This looks like a corona. Okay, red virus, show in folder, copy it to desktop. So all our background images are done. So what we need to do is we need to go to Android assets and remove this default image. So delete this one, click OK. Now we need to copy all the images. So virus, background, and our bird. So Control C, and then right click on the asset, paste it here, click OK. This is done. So now we have all the data. So now we need to write down the code. So let me remove this, and yep, complete this. So background, we need bird. Second, we need enemy. So enemy 1, enemy 2, enemy 3. So now we need to change this. So our background is full background dot png. Save it. Now let's come here, begin batch dot begin batch dot end. So this is an infinite loop, and inside that we need to draw a texture. So draw texture is bg, comma, it will start from 0 0 xy coordinates, and then we need so let's make two variables. So float screen width, which will be screen width, screen height. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to initialize them. So screen width will be gdx.graphics get the screen width, same screen height gdx.graphics.get height. So here we need screen width, screen height. Save it, let's run it. So background is here and it looks perfectly fine, so that's good. Now we need a bird. So just like this, we need a bird, new texture. Bird is in frame1.png. now we need bird coordinates also. So bird width, bird height, bird x coordinate, and bird y coordinate. So let's initialize them one by one. So I need bird. Let's make it 15. You can play with these numbers whatever you like. So I have already sorted out mine, so choosing them. Oops, I made a mistake. So these are width and height, xy coordinate will be like okay. I have to do it faster. Okay, draw, then bird, bx, by, bw, and then bh. So this is done. Save it, let's run it. Okay, so bird is here and it looks fine, but we need to put gravity and the speed to which it will fall down. So we need two parameters now, velocity and gravity. So let's do that. So float velocity equals to 0, float gravity equals to 0.6f. So these two are done. Now what we need to do is, after we draw the bird, velocity plus equals to gravity and by, which will be your this y coordinate vertically. We need to decrement it by velocity. Save it, run it. so it's falling down, so that's good. Now we need to make it jump on each click or tap, you can say. So let's make the bird jump. So first of all we need to see if someone is touching. So gdx dot input dot is touched. In that case, reduce the velocity by -10. So let's check this out. Okay, so it's jumping, but when it fell down to the deepest boundaries, it should fall down and it should come up here. That means it died. So let's do that. So at that point of time, what we need to do is sh by 2. So at middle, make velocity to 0, save it. So now two things we can do. We should always see state. So right now when it will be here, it should mean that the program is running, game is running. So in this state, this means that it died, so you have to restart again. And this point of time is that means also that the code is running. So we need to have a state so that we can predict in which state the code or program is right now running. So let's do that. So let's make it 0 by default, and if state equals to 1, then only do all of this. This looks fine, right? So in this case we need to make state equals to 0, which means it died. Else, so let's copy this code, cut it. Now else, if the game is not running, that means if a user touches the screen, let's make it run. So what we need to do is state equals to 1. Sounds nice. Let's play it. Okay, so it came from the sky like this. Then if it fell down, it came back, and if I click, it is resuming again. So this looks fine, right? Okay, great. So now what we need to do, we need to print or make our enemies continuously in this direction to the left. So let's make them. So let's make our enemies and in continuous motion, so that would be infinite. So to do that we need loop, or you can say arrays first of all. Why? Because we need infinite enemies in a 3 iteration. So that means we have 3 enemies in an iteration. So now we need arrays, float. So enemies x coordinate, and enemy y coordinate, ey, which will be a 2D array. Enemies. So this is done. Now what we need to do, we need to create our enemies. So let's come down to here, for loop. Sorry, something fell down. Okay, for loop. Now what we need, int I equals to 0, I less than enemies I plus plus. Now we need to initialize the x coordinate, I equals to sw plus sw into 2. That's done. Now we need 3 random variables, r1 new random, same. Let's copy them. So now we need y coordinates for the enemies, so let's do that. So ey 0th one for the ith index goes to r1 dot next float into sh. Let's copy this, paste it 2 times, change the coordinates here 1 and 2, change the random variables r2 r3. So creation is done. Now what we need to do is we need to draw them. So when do we want to draw them? So I suppose here. So oops, so for I think we can use the same array. Paste it. Now this is taking so long. Patch dot draw, and we have enemy 1. Okay, we don't have enemy 1 because we didn't create, did we? So let's do that. Okay, enemies are here. Now we need to draw them. So enemy is here. Now we need x and y coordinate. So x coordinate will be I, y coordinate will be ey 0 I, then bw and bh. Copy it, save it 2 times, or paste it 2 3. Now we need here 1, here we need 2. So before that I'm missing something. Yep, yes, I okay, I'm adding one more condition here just to make it continuous in an infinite loop. So when it is done with this condition, like if it is getting greater than 3, now what we need to do is we need to do it once again. So that means so save it. Let's try like this. Okay, let's run it. I think I made a mistake somewhere. Let's see. Here. Okay, this is good. Right, this looks good, but we need to create some hitboxes also, like when it hit then it should die. So let's do that. Also let's reduce the speed. I think that is too difficult. but yeah, that depends on you. If you want to make it much less difficult, you can change this value. So I'm just changing it to 10, but yeah, it's up to you. So now let's create a hitbox. I think we are on a roll right now. I don't know how much time I took, but I feel good about this. So this is done. Now we need something around here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to create, first let's begin the shape renderer. So to begin that, you need to let it know what it is. So for me it is a circle. So first let's end it. Now as it is a, so as enemies are in a loop, like we created it that way, so we need circles also that way. So we need a for loop. So I equals to 0. So now we need set color. Now we need circles, right? So we need 4 circles, 3 for the current iteration, and the 4th is our bird, right? So what we need, x coordinate, and the width, or you can say the width of the bird or the virus. So that would be bw by 2. Then like that we need 0 I ph by 2, then bw by 2. Let's copy this, paste it 4 times, actually 3 times. Now change here 1 2, and we don't need it here. So here we need by, actually bird's y coordinate. Here we need bx, bird x coordinate. So this looks fine. Let me see one more time. Yeah, this looks fine. So when this is done, we have already ended it, so this looks fine. Let's try this. Okay, this looks fine. Now we'll need to check for the overlaps between circles, right? That's the only thing that we need to test. So yep, let's do that. So for that, we don't need this anymore. Now we need circles, which mean 4 circles. Circle seabird, see enemy 1 array, see enemy 2, see enemy 3. Okay, alt shift enter. It didn't work actually. So okay, now we have 4 circles actually. Now we need to initialize them, so it should be initialized in this loop. So c bird equals to new circle. Okay, see enemy 1 equals to new circle. So that would be enemies. Same we can copy. So this will be 2 and 3. So this looks fine. Save it. Now let's come here. For int I equals to 0, I less than enemies I plus plus. One sec. Equals to new circle. let's copy this. Uh, 2 and 3. So this looks fine. Now let's come here. So now we don't need sr.circle. We can use our own circle, which is cname dot set method, which is creating an issue because we didn't use this. So when this is done, you can just copy and paste. So change here to here 3. So now here we can do the same, which will be c bird dot set, right? So save it. Now we don't need bird here. Okay, this is done. Now we need to check for the overlaps. So how should we do that? So intersector dot overlaps. Now see bird, circle of bird with circle of enemy. So enemy 1 I, and so on. We will do that for enemy 2 and enemy 3. So paste, change it here to 2 and 3. So if that happens, what does that mean? That means that the bird has died. So I'm creating a new state right now, which will initialize all of the steps, because we need the initialization now. So when that happens, that means that if it is going to fall down to hell, then initialize. So that comes here. So let's make it more clear that way. State equals to 0, else if state equals to 2. Now what we need to do is we need to initialize first of all our x and y coordinates, which will be a little down these. I'm making it 2. Let's start from okay, I think this one is also fine. Okay, so copy this. Okay, here. So this is done. Now what we need to do is we need to initialize all our enemies and circles so that it can restart. So that means inside render this loop, we could have made a method for it, but I'm not seeing efficiency right now. So that's done. So when that happens, it has already initialized all of them. Now what we need to do is if okay, so when we need to initialize is if users tap on the screen, then only we need to initialize. Otherwise, why are we taking all the hassle? So let's cut down this code, paste it here, and then make state equals to 1 so that it okay. Before we do that, I think I made a mistake here. So we didn't need that in the loop, but this we need it. inside the loop. And let's cut this. Okay, I made another mistake. So if state equals to 1 is ending here, so we need to put state equals to 2 and 0 somewhere else. So that was my bad. So let me correct this. So state equals to 0. Now this is state equals to 2. So let's save it and let's run it. Okay, so yeah, it died. It continued again, died. It died again. It died. So that means it's working fine. Died. It died. So it's good. I'm double clicking it so that I can see all the scenarios. Okay, that's good, but I'm not liking this speed at all, so I'm making it smaller. So that's done. Now what we need to do, we need to create a scoring code. So we need a variable to store the score. So I need one boolean variable also, so that I can know that I need to stop scoring at that point of time. So this is done. Now we need to go to render, and when we need to score. So if the x coordinate of the bird is greater than the x coordinate of enemies, and then flag is true, that means you can increase the score and make it stop. So that's done. Now we need to initialize also, right? After flag equals to true. Okay, that's done. Now we need to change this score. Make it to default when the game is getting initialized. So score equals to 0, right? So that's done. So we can run it, but to display the score we need something to display. So I'm using bitmap for that. So bitmap font. So I'll just use one font then. Actually, I was thinking of making two. Okay, bitmap is not there. Sorry about that. Bitmap font. So let's initialize it. I think I'm getting slower. I took a longer duration of time on this. So now what we need to do is we need to set the color. So choose any color you like. Then you need a scale. Set scale. I'm choosing 8. Save it. So when this is done, now we need to display. So let's display the font dot draw. Use batch. Now what we need scores. So string dot value of score. Now we need sw minus pw comma I think sh bh. Okay, so this is done. Now we need to display also when the person is tired, so that if he click on it again, he can then start the game. I mean touch on the screen. So tap to continue. You can do very similar things like this. So I'm just doing what I like, and like, so that I can take lesser duration of time. So yeah, this is it. So save it, run it. Okay, 1, it ended. 2, so it's not getting initialized, getting to the default value. Okay, tap to continue, that's it. Okay, it came to 0, that's good. I thought it was not doing that. 4, 5, I'm getting good at this. 6, let's, so tap to continue. When you continue, it's working. So let's try this, tap to continue. So yeah, that was all. So if you like my video, please like, subscribe and share my video, and stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye.